guys? It's Mateo's 2020 Politics here, and today we're going to be discussing Pete Buttigieg actually topping every single other candidate in the Iowa caucus polling. So I never really paid much attention to polling for early states. I just kind of pay attention to national state polling. So you can see here I typically check out Real Clear Politics, probably the most accurate source. Please check it out. So basically here is some national polling. It's taken a while to load for some reason. Anyway, luckily I paused the video so you guys wouldn't have to wait. It took a couple minutes to load for some reason, which isn't really usual. So anyway, you can see we have here, this is the national polling. And Real Clear Politics doesn't just do polling themselves. They kind of take every single polls and every single day from different sources like Emerson or CNN or ABC or Fox or Harris X, Quinnipiac University, sources like that, and they just average them in. So, there's Michael Bloomberg right there. Looks like he's doing pretty decently well at 3%. I think I might make a video on him tomorrow, because these new polls just came in, so I might just make a video on him tomorrow. Now if we go to Iowa, we all know that Pete Buttigieg has been having this big surge, although I do believe that CNN has been really exaggerating on this matter, because we know CNN has their obvious establishment picks. They first made a whole mini documentary on Kamala Harris, and then they made one on Beto O'Rourke, and now that he's dropped out and Kamala Harris has basically gotten out of the top tier candidates, they're trying to prop up Pete Buttigieg. And can I tell you the most messed up part? There was no actual Pete Buttigieg surge. He was at like 4%, he went up to like 5-6% in a week or so. It isn't a huge deal. But then the CNN started saying, Buttigieg surging, look at the comparisons between Buttigieg and Obama, a new future, a new candidate, and they kept like acting like there was a surge, and eventually, after CNN reported on it, more people started feeling encouraged to follow Pete Buttigieg, and then the surge actually started, after CNN started really showing it. So anyway, we can see now that in Iowa, the purple is Pete Buttigieg. He is in first place. That is nuts. This was him a few weeks ago. So right here, this was September 16th. Let's see if you can get really close. September 16th. I don't know if you can actually see well the actual numbers, but September 16th. Then when you move it along, he really starts to catch fire. He knocks over Harris because she started going downhill, or she already was then, but she kept going. So he gets into fourth place, and then he knocks Bernie Sanders, which is definitely a shocker, and then he knocks Biden and then Warren. And now he's in first place. And what does it show? Well, it shows that anything can happen, because you remember how a year back it was like a year ago, or more than a year ago actually, almost 2 years ago, in January of 2019, I made a big election night, and I was like, look guys, 14 candidates in this Democratic primary election night. Isn't that just crazy? And now there have been 29 candidates, if you want to include Michael Bloomberg, in total who have run. So it would seem like a small election night at the time. And that election night, I was making people like Julian Castro and Kamala Harris, and I win states. I made Julian Castro win like 3 states. I made Kamala Harris make it to the last top 3 candidates, and I made Kirsten Gillibrand win a state, and then she got like second place in many. So it just goes to show how primaries really change. Within a few weeks they change, because you remember nobody knew who Pete Buttigieg was. They were all pronouncing his name Buttigieg back in early 19. Nobody knew who the heck this dude was. They were just saying, Buttigieg, who's that? And out of nowhere, he just starts catching fire in like April and May, and just somehow bumps into second place in some polls, and on average is in like 4th place. So again, it just goes to show anything can happen. And also Kamala Harris plummets down and Warren plummets up. It's crazy. If this much has happened from the course of, I'd say, December, which is when the real primary started, December 2018 to basically December 2019. So basically, in the course of a year, it can all change, right? Then when the primaries come along, and it's February, sure, it's in a couple months, but things are really going to start picking up by then. man, I wonder how different this field's going to look. For all we know, Biden could end up in 10th place. I'm not saying that it's going to happen, but it's a very possible possibility. Possible possibility. One thing I did want to say is I don't like how other progressive commentators kind of really throw a lot of dirt on Biden. What I mean by that is they really exaggerate, and they're like, oh, Joe Biden's having this huge collapse. Look at him, his campaign's over. And I'm like, no, he isn't. He's polling in first place nationally. With the case of Pete Buttigieg, we can all agree on the fact that he is rising. And it isn't as nearly as much as a big surge as he had in May and March, April and May of 2019. But it definitely is a surge. His numbers have basically doubled. He's in 4th place now. But in Iowa, he's in 1st place. So this guy might actually win Iowa. I know. We all thought, even in my recent election night that I made like a month ago, doesn't matter, 1 or 2 months ago, even I thought he would get like 4th or 5th place because all the polls showed it. But now he's in 1st place. It's just crazy how everything can change just in a few months. So, man, Bloomberg's only polling at 1% in Iowa. Thank you for watching this video, guys. See you guys later, and bye.